live on your tablet, phone, and the KUTV app. This is 2 News Live.
Yes, it's great to be with you here on 2 News Live. I'm Brian Schneed. It is Wednesday, April the 3rd, going in depth tonight on the latest development to plan for the 2034 Winter Games here in Utah. Some big steps taken today, at least as announced, and we'll get into that in just a moment. If you'd like to get in depth with us tonight, you can always get in touch with us on the show. You can use the hashtag 2NewsLive if those things still work, the algorithm, I don't even know. But you can reach out on Instagram, on Facebook, on X, all those things. And of course, comment live here on YouTube, Facebook Live, because we would love to have you as part of the conversation. Let's get into it. Joining us here on 2 News Live tonight, Olympic Legacy Foundation President and CEO Colin Hilton. It's great to have you here.
Great to be here, Brian.
So the foundation, you specifically are working as a venue partnership program coordinator of sorts, right? You're working through all of this when we talk about those 13 proposed venues that were talked about and put out to us today. How are you feeling about all this?
I feel great. I mean, we had one of our strengths for hosting or bidding to host the games again is the relationships we have with these various venue owners and operators. It's a mix of Delta Center operators to public community ice rinks to the legacy foundations that we look after. And that is one of the real strengths of our proposal, that we have these facilities already existing. We don't have to build new, and they're all within about an hour of each other, hour of the Olympic Village downtown.
So the list as we see it, I think we actually have it up here for you, by the way, too. I want to see if it lives. Yes, so this is kind of fun. So we've got this map up here, which I'm going to try to sneak over in the corner here. I purposely started things up in Ogden, right? Because that is where Snow Basin is up at, and just east there. And if we go down here, we get to look into Salt Lake City, and then obviously in Park City. But how much could this change over the course of the next 10 years, Colin?
10 years is a long time. We certainly know dynamics will change and we'll have to adapt. And that's the strength of having these existing partners. We might have the same venues, but some different sports. That will play out and we'll make adjustments as we go.
Okay, one of those exciting announcements today pertaining to a new event since we held it in 02, new as of 2018, which is the Big Air. And we're looking at a map here. Might be hard for you to see, but when you look really into the heart of Salt Lake City, the Big Air is going to be in downtown Salt Lake City at a place called Block 85. Now, I had to do a little homework by the way of asking some people, what is Block 85? Where is that?
It's essentially the parking lot kitty corner to the Delta Center. So that's where many people who were here in 02, it's where the Metals Plaza is. So we're going to actually combine the Metals Plaza with the Big Air event, which is really a tall, towering scaffold structure where snowboard and free ski athletes do their best trick.
So I'm going to walk over here with you, by the way, so we can get back in the light here a little bit, because I was over in the corner. But if we move this event to downtown Salt Lake City, what is the allure of that? What is the allure of bringing more of these events to the downtown area?
Well, the downtown really has always been the indoor venues, and this is a unique opportunity to bring sort of an outdoor winter sport right to an urban core, and to have, say, 25,000 spectators at the same location where we're doing Metals Plaza. It is, we think, bringing the sport to the people, to the downtown, and creating this wonderful atmosphere for the athletes to do their best trick.
Colin Hilton with us tonight of the Utah Olympic Legacy Foundation. We're talking about the venues, and I'm glad you're here to do this because you mentioned where the people are at. Weber County to Utah County to the Maverick Center to the mountains to the Wasatch Back area even. So when you're looking at these venues, and I put it out on social media today because people eat this stuff up, they love it. They pointed out something interesting to me. They said back in 02, and I didn't know this, that curling was in Ogden.
Yes.
So why the change to a different location, or at least a proposed location compared to what it once was?
Yeah, curling is a sport that's really grown since 02, and it's always very popular around the time of the Olympic Games. And so we are limited in the size of the facility at Weber County on the Weber State campus. And the cost to actually expand the facility and make it large enough to be a venue again was very high. And relative to then putting it temporarily in the Salt Palace, we felt was a more sustainable approach, a more economically smart, prudent approach.
Talking about the potential for maybe new venues, what will that look like here? We will have to let time tell us here with funding from the legislature. Will the Delta Center be revamped and have this entertainment district where there'll be a Major League Baseball stadium here? And could that have any use? I don't know, because we have Rice-Eccles as the home of kind of that cauldron and opening and closing ceremonies. But will some of the venues that we have on this list have any sort of renovations or facelift to the ones that maybe you see fit?
The beauty of what we've done is maintain these facilities as we've gone. We're not waiting till a next big event. We, with our partner venues, have been doing the upkeep. We have been hosting World Cups. So we don't have any major improvements to do. Most of it is cosmetic.
A question that was posed to me on social media again was about the Olympic Village.
Yeah.
And I know that was obviously on the University of Utah campus. Is that still the plan as we look 10 years down the road in 2034?
And the beautiful thing is the growth of the campus and the amount of housing that it has. It is allowing us to be able to not only house all of the athletes, but also potentially their families. And either on campus or nearby the campus, we'll be able to do something special and have the families be near their sons or daughters and from all around the world. This is a unique concept that Utah is proposing.
Before we move forward, looking back 30 years at this point of where it would be in 2034 or even beyond, right? A couple years beyond that. How nice is it to have a location that has had these venues in use? Not just used, but used by major corporations or franchises. Yep. And how much has that helped you guys throughout this process?
Well, I think it really shows a unique ability to have 100% of the planned venues be existing facilities. The fact that the popularity of the Olympics coming back is so high, I think it's because people actually think or see that these facilities aren't just for elite athletes, they're for young people. Our youth in Utah is using these as a community recreation center as well as an Olympic venue.
So where are we today in the process? What else needs to be done? I know the answers to some of these, by the way, because I've been following it as close as I can, but how would you describe where we are today with a big announcement about those proposed venues?
You know, I think today we're just going to continue to do the regular upkeep of these facilities, continue to host events, and really develop a growing amount of technical sport volunteers as well as the broader volunteer base, which we're really known for here in Utah. And as we develop that, we'll host more events. We'll showcase to the world that already knows we're a great host, and we'll be able to get everybody really confident in our abilities to do this as we lead up to 2034.
And on behalf of the Olympic Legacy Foundation, you have at least 3 of those legacy venues that you are primarily responsible for, with Soldier Hollow and the Olympic Park, and of course the Oval in Kearns as well. So how can the public still get involved in these venues now before the games? There's always something going on, right?
There is, and we could always use volunteers for everyday activities and programs and events that we're doing. So we encourage people to come out, be a volunteer at these events that are happening every year, and to be able to look back and say, wow, we actually have these facilities, they're in our community, our kids can use them, and we're going to host the games again. We think this is very exciting.
Colin, thank you for coming in.
Yep.
It was a pleasure.
Appreciate
so
it.
we've also talked to a number of times Frazier Bullock with the Salt Lake City, Utah committee. He's also talked about the games, what this means for our area, but also the venues. Take a listen.
We can use the games as a catalyst for good in our community. In 2034, we want to build on the great foundation of O2, which is great venues, great people, great hospitality, and welcoming the world. But what could we do differently? But 10 years is a long time. What happens if we have a Major League Baseball arena? What do we do with that? Could we use that for Metals Plaza or something else? So we have potentially options that will be offered to us as things change over the next 10 years.
Well, there's still a long way to go, right? Over the last few months, we've been talking about this, and one of the folks I did talk to was the general manager at Snow Basin Resort. We were talking about a number of things this day. I remember it because it was before we even hit the year 2024. But here is Davey Ratchford talking about what it would be like if those games came back to Snow Basin again.
You know, having the Olympics back at Snow Basin in 2034, right, fingers crossed, it's looking good. we are ecstatic and we're proud because, I think the legacy that we've been able to create, and it's not just here, but even down south, like the Grand America and the other elements that our company has really helped support around the Olympic movement. I don't know if there is an Olympics without the Holding family, right? And what they were able to contribute to make this work. And so being able to, come back for 2034 and have a volunteer community like Gold Foundation and Ogden and others that are still around today from the old Olympics, it's just an incredible thing. And for me and my team to say, like, we did that, yesterday after hearing that, we're like, hey, like, we're going to be a part of something massive. And Snow Basin in particular is a major, major hub of the Olympics. Like, that's an honor and it's a challenge and it's already stressful, but it's what a thing to be able to say, right? Like, we were, me and my team and us, hopefully, right, fingers crossed, we're a part of it. And we're excited. It's a great thing. And I know that people behind the scenes have been working super hard on it, including us.
Well, guess what? It sounds like they will be a part of it once again in 2034. As we've been discussing, a lot of the infrastructure already in place for another Olympic Games here in the Beehive State. But as the state continues to grow, what else do we need? We spoke with the folks at the Kem C. Gardner Policy Institute. They say that Utah is well positioned to host the games again since we've done it before. But they also say the state needs to invest heavily in roads, public transportation, just to deal with the growth, not to mention another Olympic Games. They also mention the air quality and those issues that will need to be addressed.
Between now and 2034, we'll add another 800,000 Utahns. And so by the time the Winter Olympics are here again, you'll have almost 40% of the state, maybe even as much as half, who weren't here in 2002. That's a big deal.
They also mentioned the environment is a bigger concern this time than back in 2002, especially with climate changing and doing things in a sustainable, environmental friendly way. That will be key. So beyond these specifically built venues, other locations were vastly renovated and transformed. Jake Taylor talking about this in terms of some of the other changes that have been in play and will need to be in play for 2034. Take a listen.
But beyond these specially built venues, other locations were vastly renovated and transformed. Rice-Eccles Stadium, for example, went through major construction to be ready for the opening and closing ceremonies. Some of the biggest builds are still affecting UNI today. Tracks didn't exist until Utah got the nod for the games. It was only after winning that bid, the first plans for light rail in Salt Lake got federal funding. Also, the freeway. Before Utah got the 2002 games, I-15 through Salt Lake was mostly just a 6-lane highway. The $1.3 billion I-15 corridor reconstruction doubled it to 12 lanes, rebuilding more than 100 bridges, even putting into place Utah's first HOV lane.
Jake Taylor on the inside for us, and we appreciate having Colin Hilton with the Legacy Foundation in here to talk about the venues. He plays a major part of this process as part of the Salt Lake City, Utah Olympic Committee. So great to have him in here on 2 News Live. We will continue to follow the developments as the preferred host city process moves forward. And in the meantime, you can watch our past interviews, our prior conversations, and all the reports on what's being done to try to lure those winter games back to the Beehive State. You can find them on our website and also on our YouTube channel. Meteorologist Sean Kelly here now talking about, wow, we hit 70
we did it
minutes ago?
Yeah, a few minutes ago, 70 degrees.
All right.
Warmest day of the year so far, and you know what? Tomorrow will be even warmer.
Okay, so what did we learn today? On warm days like this, we go play golf in the morning before work. If tomorrow's going to be warmer, sounds like we've got to do it again.
Hey, I'm down.
Chase, you in?
I'm down.
Too windy.
It's going to be, I mean, a little bit
He doesn't want it
breezy.
to impact the ball flight.
Yeah.
He's concerned.
I
Kind of
don't
muscle
mind
up,
it.
baby.
I need an excuse out there. So the wind is fine
Wind
for me.
in Sean's favor.
But yeah, during this time of year, I'm still already planning my next trip to go up to the slopes as well. So back and forth, you know. All right, let's get you outside. Let's show you what's going on across the areas. We continue to track the warm weather and the beautiful, clear, sunny sky. It is wonderful out there. We've got the warmest temperatures of the year so far today through tomorrow, but then we get ready for the winds as we get into tomorrow and Friday as well. That's ahead of our next storm system. 69 degrees here in Salt Lake as we deal with the temperatures that are about 5 to 10 degrees warmer from 24 hours ago. We'll take it. We're at 67 in Cedar City, 69 in Milford, 65 in Price. A big storm impacting the Northeast right now, back through the Midwest. So if you are flying this evening or even into tomorrow morning, you could encounter some delays. New England going to see a big snowstorm there. And then all eyes on our next storm system pushing into the Pacific Northwest, into Idaho. It will send down with it a cold front. Tomorrow out ahead of it, we've got those strong 50 to 60 mile per hour winds. But as we get into Friday, here comes the mountain snow and the valley rain, with those snow levels falling Friday evening into the overnight. Colder temperatures plummet in behind the cold front, and we could even see some snow mixing in at times here across the valley floors through Saturday morning as well. Snow showers could even linger on down well towards the south across I-15, and then continue on from Saturday evening into Sunday morning, though the coverage starts to decrease a little bit as drier air works its way in. About 1/4 of an inch through 1/2 inch of rain heading our way, but could see some good snow for the mountains. About 8 to 16 inches of snow along the Wasatch Back, about 2 to 6 inches, and in the valley floors seeing about a coating, dusting to 2 inches. The grassy surfaces may be seeing those higher inches. 38 degrees for a low in the Nephi area, Delta at 40 degrees. Tomorrow we're into the 60s and 70s, a little bit cloudier as well with the winds. And then in the St. George area, we've got some cooler weather heading your way. We go from windy to breezy into Saturday, 60s by Sunday. And then along the Wasatch Front, here it is, 70s become 50s Friday. Saturday, snow showers lingering on into Sunday. So some cooler weather by then as well.
You see why we give you that +2? Move out of the way of the +2 there. The 70s are back, baby. That's the reason here. That is the ultimate reason why we've expanded, for that moment right here.
Yeah, I mean, we've got a little bit of something for everyone. This is called balance.
Yes.
This is a good balance.
Well, you need that balance. He needs that time skiing before work.
That's right.
And golfing before
That's right.
work. Working on the tan today. You
Heck
look like
yeah,
you got a
heck
little
yeah,
tan.
yeah.
All right, remember to download our 2 News weather app to know about the changes in your neighborhood. You get updated forecasts, the live radar right on your phone. The app is free to download. This is the perfect platform to say, meteorologist Chase Thomason was 2 feet from a hole-in-one today, and
Yeah.
I was there to see it, and he made the putt. He
He's
put it
very-
out on
he's
social
very
media,
happy about it.
and he should be, because we thought it was in.
Right, and he fixed the divot though too.
Oh, of course he did. He fixed other people's divots.
Yeah.
That's how good he is. But anyway, it was a good morning on the course because everything's greening up.